Alrighty, y'all. So today's upper body day 2 and section of split number 2. So it going to be kind of cool. This is a little more back focused. The first upper day is a lot more chest focused. So we'll see how this goes today. Today the weights might be a little bit lower, or I might fail on what I'm trying to shoot for. I spent the first half of my day, about 6 hours, doing concrete prep and then pouring a slab and then finishing a concrete slab. So kind of a little already tired and worn out from that, but we're in here to get our workout in. There's no reason to be a slacker, and you've got to be consistent if you want to make gains. So I've got 150 pounds on the cable stack here to do seated rows. That's our first movement in today's upper body. I warmed up with 50 pounds and 100 pounds for just two set of 8 on each, just to kind of work up the stack since it's the first movement. So that weight, perfect. Not going to go up, not going to go down. Whew. Does anyone else get the burps or hiccups when, shortly after you take your pre-workout? For about the first 20 to 30 minutes after I take my pre-workout, I have the hiccups and I get a little burpy. It gets kind of annoying, truthfully, but. Or is that just something that I have an issue with? Because I just don't know. It is kind of silly. So, I'm going to knock out the next 2 sets of these, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to T-bar rows. So, alright, so now it's time to knock out T-bar rows. I've got 90 pounds on here. I think this is going to be a good weight for this. I don't know. I haven't done T-bar rows in years. So we're trying to figure this out today on what all these weights should be. So I'm thinking I want to hit these with the wide grip here to mimic more of a bent over row. Alright, that weight, definitely going to be challenging. So that's another 8 to 12 set. I got to 10. So that's going to stay right where it is. I don't need to move it up, don't need to move it down. We're right in that window. 3 sets of that's going to be pretty hard. So one of the things about T-bar rows is the fact that you have to keep your core super tight. You got to keep your glutes, quads, hamstrings all locked in and tight. And you got to be able to keep your back, your chest up, and your back and shoulders pulled nice and tight. So that way you can get that full range of motion down and squeeze on that way coming back up. So, and not rock back and forth and do weird things. So, it's awesome. I like them. Haven't done them in a long time, so I'm kind of glad to have them back in a rotation. So, with that, I'm going to get these finished up, and then I think we have incline bench press. Alright, so, our third movement, incline bench. I went ahead and just warmed up with the bar, the 95. Now I've got 145 on here. I haven't incline benched with barbells in a while, so not really looking to push the weight up super high yet. Again, we're just trying to feel out this first day of our second upper body split. So, or second day of our upper body split. Said that wrong. So I got 145 on here. These sets are for 3 sets, 5 to 8 reps. So, I'm pretty sure I could hit 8 reps here. We're just going to shoot for 5s though. That way we could just feel it out, see how we feel tomorrow, see if we got to make adjustments or anything on it. But alright, so the first set felt a little too easy for just 5. So we went ahead and hit 8. I'll hit 8 again for my next 2 sets. And oddly enough, it actually feels kind of effective. I can feel the pump rushing into the top of my chest. So that's going to be a real plus. The first 2 exercises, I can feel my lats. Got some blood in them. Nothing too crazy, but they're a little pumped up. A little bit of rear delts, awesome. So I'm excited about the way those first 2 movements felt going into this. So I'll get my next 2 sets of these done, and then we have to do cross the chest press. All right, so now that I'm done with bench press, we're on to cross the chest presses. This is for 3 sets of 12 reps. If you guys don't do some sort of all the way across the body fly movement, doing across the chest presses are an amazing exercise. You get a little extra range of movement, so you get a lot tighter contraction. Through and a lot wider range of movement. So instead of just going from here to here, you get to go all the way to here. So, and doing this as a press, you get to load quite a bit more weight on there than what you can fly. So it is a great way to get actual like stress onto the pec at this range of movement. Because I mean, when you lock out on the bench press, you're out here. So from here to here is all normally under light load. You're never getting a real heavy stimulus on it. So in my opinion, by taking that across the chest press one arm at a time from here to here, you're really working that full range of movement. And from past experience, at least for me, it's really going to develop that inner chest line. You will build a massive just cleavage line, basically. And that crazy stream, like strands of muscle fiber that you can see in between pec muscles, those will become extremely dominant where they're being inserted into the sternum. So very, very good movement for activation of the pecs and for overall range of motion. So it also helps with mobility. So I've got 2 more of these to go. All right, so our next movement here is preacher curls. So since we don't actually have a preacher bench, we go ahead and make do obviously with our adjustable bench here. Works just as good as any preacher bench. So, I've got 3 sets, 15 reps, just doing 15 pounds for now. We just kind of letting everything still heal and relax. We are in a deload. So we're just taking it nice and slow. Getting a full squeeze up at the top. Now we're on to the weak arm. Grab my strong hand. If y'all know what that's from, comment it down below. So, we're not currently working with any super heavy weights for, about the next month. The weights will be moving up from where they are now, but we have to finish going through a deload period and allowing everything to heal that we beat down over the past 4.5 months. So, it's partially my fault for not taking enough rest and having a really aggressive training block. But we did make a bunch of progress during that training block. So now we just have to deload, maintain where we're at, and then we could, rail back into the weights. And we'll probably stay with the same similar split. That way we can avoid that acute central nervous system deterioration over time. Keep it from just breaking down and not recovering. So at least that's what I've kind of been told, and what the research for the style of split allows for is, you can work out pretty hard, but you're doing fairly minimal volume in each workout per muscle group, and you're never going to be setting maxes and PRs and stuff during the block. So it's going to keep you from overtaxing and not recovering long enough from doing so. Alright, so we're on to rope curls. It's just 40 pounds for now, but I tell you what, this is still one of my favorite curl movements next to pronated easy curl bars. There's just something about a rope curl that never jacks up my elbows. It never messes up my wrists. Oh. The pump from them always feels awesome. So, if you guys are looking for something that's in that neutral grip range, so that hammer grip, whether it's windmills, normal rope curls, hammer curls with the dumbbells, preacher hammers, preacher rope curl, give those a variation, because it's to work this brachialis, and it really helps make the bottom of the bicep really wide and proud. So if you're like me and you have short little tendon insertions and these big muscle bellies, this will help make your bicep actually look large. So, because it's going to take a long time for us to build a big bicep when you have these little short tendons, because the muscle's not able to contract into a little ball. But when we do get a big arm, our arms look freaking huge, because it is just such a big fat chunk of muscle that's sitting there. So don't think you can't build a big arm if you have short little tendons, because you can build a really massive arm. It just takes time. You just got to stay to it and train them hard, and they will get there without a doubt. So now we got tri press downs, and we're just trugging right along here for our second upper body day. So I'm liking it so far. It feels pretty balanced. Nothing feels left out so far. So, alright, so we're on our last set of tri extensions. This is just for 3x12, nothing super crazy. Weight wise, we've only got 40 pounds on here. But take it nice and slow, get them all the way out, work on really pulling that rope apart. Oh. And you will get a good pump from them. It doesn't take a lot of weight for majority of exercises to actually get a lot of stimulus. You just have to slow the rep down and really think about squeezing it. That mind to muscle connection is the most important part to building strength and muscle. If you're just going through the movements willy-nilly, it's never going to benefit you after you get through like your first little 6 months or so of newbie gains, and then you're not going to make any more progress. It just kind of is what it is. So you can go ahead and make a little progress, obviously, just by moving some weight around and going through the movements, but eventually you're just going to get stuck. And a lot of that's going to be from poor form and technique that you picked up from just going through the movements, not cueing the right body parts to move in a specific way to really engage the muscle you're trying to work, so you're probably not even working or targeting the muscle you're trying to target. And that alone will create a bunch of issues. So just slow everything down, think about what you're trying to hit, and focus on that muscle, especially if you're just getting into this. So that'll be your biggest factor of making a lot of progress in keeping your body feeling healthy and avoiding injuries. So next I've got dips, so I'm gonna get set up for those. We're gonna work through our dips, and that'll be the last movement for today. All right, so we're on to our last set for today. Dips, killer finisher for something like this where we've already worked a little back, we've worked some tricep, we've worked some bicep, we got a little bit of chest in. Now, this is really going to pummel the triceps. You're going to get a little bit of chest into it, but the closer you put your hands, the more triceps you're going to get, a little bit more shoulders you're going to get. The further you come out, the more you're going to get into your chest. So, since we're trying to focus more of the triceps than the chest, close grip today it is. You want to try to keep, you don't want your arms pointing way out to the side like this. That's not how you do a dip. You want to try to get them back and behind you and press through those triceps. Woo! That last set, brutal. But we can do it. That's a big plus. So when you can start doing body weight dips, body weight pull-ups, it's a big accomplishment. There's not a lot of people that can knock out sets of them. Nonetheless, do a set of it. So if you're one of those people, way to go. Especially if you're like me and you're over 200 pounds, way to freaking go. Because we're fat fucking blobs that we gotta move a bunch of weight to do. So, like, one of the things that people don't realize is you can put on a lot of muscle mass, but with that mass comes weight. And doing some body weight stuff when you just have a lot of body mass, even if you're mostly muscle versus fat, it gets really hard. So, because you're still having to move that 200 pounds plus around. So, but with that, I'm freaking out of here. Today felt awesome. So, I like this split for our back focused upper body day. Great. So I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's lower body, which is hamstring focused and glutes instead of quads, like our first lower day. So it's kind of like a day A, like upper A and then upper B with an lower A and a lower B, going back and forth and alternating through them. So it's kind of cool. I'm liking this setup. I've never done this style split before, but I see why people enjoy it. So, but with that, I'm out of here. Make sure you guys are working towards your goals, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.